So last time we did a quick review on the unboxing of the Mantis. We still haven't used it, believe it or not, but we will be doing so soon. The range is almost ready. I shouldn't really call it a shooting range. It's just a shooting lane, private, personal. Anyhow, um, so it's not ready for us to use it yet, but should be soon enough. And once it is, we will be using this on there. And what we are going to do right now, though, is we're going to go ahead and actually download the software and walk through the steps of what it takes to do it. I'm going to be doing it on an Apple. I presume it might be a little different on an Android. So obviously we're going to go to our App Store first. We're just waiting for it to download. So just a little backstory. So I'm not a professional shooter, which means that this is a perfect product for someone like me. So you'll get some genuine reviews around, did it truly help me? So we'll probably start off with a 45, maybe a 9mm. Not really a fan of the 9mm I own, but 45 I happen to like. So we'll possibly start with that, and maybe we can even get something big boy out there like a 50 or something of that nature, and see if it actually helps improve on a Desert Eagle or something of that nature. But the real message here is that I'm a fantastic candidate for this because, sure, I know how to shoot. Sure, I've shot quite a few times here and there, maybe a few times a year, but I'm not a professional shooter. I'm not what you would consider an avid shooter. I'm definitely a novice, but someone that truly enjoys it and would like to get much better at it. And therefore, I believe this would be a fantastic opportunity to see whether a tool like this could help someone like myself. So, meaning, when I start, you're gonna have to bear with me because I don't think I'm gonna be all that great, but hopefully this will help me. So, we're done on the download. So we start off with a simple data retention policy. It's asking permission to use Bluetooth. I'm going to allow it. Obviously, it's going to need to. It's giving me a welcome. Welcome to Mantis X. Before we get started, we want to tell you a little bit about what data we are collecting and how we are using it. We save all of your shooting data, including the movement data for each shot, firearm, and dry fires as well, drills, diagnostics, etc. It says the data is saved to your account for syncing across devices, which assuming means it's going up to the cloud, I guess. And it can be accessed through train.mantis.com. And it's also shared with followers or members of groups that you are joining. So if so it's saved on their site. I can access it on train.mantis.com. It's also shared with followers or members of groups that I've joined. It doesn't say anything about shared with other organizations for marketing and such, but let's continue reading. So obviously, if we share it, the data is also shared. So if you, I guess you can share it. I haven't done this, but I guess there's a share button where maybe you can share it on Facebook or such. So they collect the duration. How long are you using the app? What device is the app on? The IP address, and etc. This data is primarily for engineers to argue about which features of the app are the most useful, but occasionally the data is used to track down bugs and improve the app. So at least what I'm reading so far is that, hey, listen, if you share the data, you share the data. Otherwise, they're going to collect how long the duration, how long are you using the app, what devices are you using the app on, the IP address, which kind of is going to help them get the location, I guess. and they're suggesting that the data is going to be used for debugging and future enhancements purposes. So far, there has been nothing that has said that they're going to share it for marketing or sell your data. And well, here's, I guess, the important part. We do not gather, track, or save any location data. I would kind of argue with that. I guess IP could be kind of used to figure out your location, but I guess they're not collecting geolocation, as in maybe, I don't know, something else. But according to this, they're not collecting your location. I'm not sure if I buy into that, but I get their point. So they're saying if you enter some courses or competitions or challenges and such, if you win, they might ask for your address to ship the product to you. In that case, you will share your address with them. And they're saying if you have any questions, you can email them at privacy@mantis.com. Quite honestly, this is the smallest, the shortest privacy policy I've really read on any app I've downloaded. I mean, quite frankly, when I read the privacy app information for when you're using the voice command on your Apple Watch, it was pages and upon pages upon pages, and they collected all kinds of stuff from the alias that you assign to the contact, to the time of the day, to all kinds of different things that they were collecting, and it was just crazy how much information they were collecting simply to say, "Hey Siri, what time of the day is it?" I'm very impressed. I'm very actually happy to see such little of the data policy that they're sharing with us. I wish there was a little bit less of the etceteras. There's two places where they're saying etc. And I wish they were specific and didn't leave it open-ended with etc. I understand why they're doing it. I'm just simply saying I wish they didn't. All right, so we're going to accept the data policy. It's going to ask to sign up. It says I can sign up with my Facebook, or I can enter username or email. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my email. I think I screwed this up. So I entered my email and my password, but I've never created an account. I'm expecting this to error out. There was an error, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop there. I should have clicked it on need an account. So to sign up. So so if I can do this correctly now, I should be creating an account. All right. Took quite a few tries, but that's user error. That was not their fault. That was my fault. First, I put the email in the wrong place. Then I didn't confirm the password, so I've gone ahead and entered the 4 data points that they wanted: email, username, password, and reconfirmation of password, hopefully correctly this time. Okay, welcome to Mantis. To get started, press the start button. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and connect. So it wants to connect to the actual device. So we're gonna go ahead and take it out of the normal, nice little pouch that it comes in. And we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. And we're gonna click the connect button. All right. So it went and started connecting. And I'm in. There's not much. I haven't figured it out yet. So there's the elite elements, also draw analysis. There's drills, open training, shot timer. I don't know what a lot of this stuff is, so I'm gonna have to play with it, figure it out. But I imagine under the settings, fantastic. So under the settings, you need to select your firearms. So I'm gonna click the firearm, and you can go through it. It's got all your typical standard. So you need to select whether it's a pistol or a rifle. And then if it's a pistol, obviously you need to select a particular pistol. You need to select whether you are a right hand or left hand shooter. And you've got shot detection modes. Let's see. And you've got to select how you've mounted the product. This is, I guess, important. So you can either mount it facing forward, or you can mount it backwards. So this is key, clearly. So we need to be careful when we're setting this up of whether we mount it forward or backwards. I just genuinely feel like it would be easier to mount this way because the release is here, and I can mount it and release it that way, or I can go underneath, do it that way. So I'm not really quite sure how I would mount it, but I have a feeling this way. And you have a choice of where you're mounting it: bottom, top, left, right, and you've got a bunch of other settings about audio feedback and so on. So quite honestly, this video was intended to talk about setting this up, and I'm remarkably satisfied as to how easy and quick it was. I'm very satisfied around their data retention policy, assuming it's accurate. Of course, I don't work for them, so I can't guarantee it. But the stuff that I read felt pretty common, felt like, well, they kind of need to track a lot of this stuff. I didn't feel like it was overwhelming for what they're going to track. I just wish they were a little bit more specific, and they didn't have those 2 etceteras within their policy there, and they specified what etc. meant. It was remarkably easy to sync this. And I think, quite frankly, all you have to do after you sync it up is just go in there and select your pistol, select whether you're right-hand shooter, left-hand shooter. Are you mounting it forward? Are you mounting it backwards? Are you mounting it on the bottom, on the top? Where are you specifically mounting it so you can track it better? What I didn't see, let me go back and look into it. I saw bottom, top, right, and left from mounting position, but I didn't see something that asked me whether I mounted it underneath the magazine or underneath the barrel. That's actually interesting. So mount location: bottom, top, left, right. Mounted a firearm is the mounted bottom, the side rail, or on top of the firearm. So, yeah, I wish it was a little bit more specific. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe just saying on the bottom is good enough, and it doesn't matter whether it's mounted on the front, underneath the barrel, or underneath the magazine, as long as they know it's at the bottom of the pistol. I don't know enough about it, so I wish that was a little bit more clear. But when I look at mounting direction, the image appears to be the barrel and underneath it, and it just simply says mounted forward or mounted backwards, where backwards is the release facing you, facing the shooter. So in that picture, it appears that it's very clear that that's underneath the barrel. I wish on the mounting location it was also clear whether when they say bottom, they're talking about the bottom of the magazine or bottom of the barrel, or whether it doesn't matter at all. I think that's the only two, I guess, feedbacks that I would say that I have that are not positive is I didn't like the etc. parts in the data retention, but I'm pretty sure those are lawyer speak, and the lawyers forced that to happen anyway. And I wish on the mounting it was a little bit more clear whether when we say bottom, are we talking about the bottom of the barrel or are we talking about the bottom of the pistol. Otherwise, there's really not much to talk about. This was straightforward, very simple, kind of like I guessed in the earlier video where it was going to be gamified, where it's just going to walk you through it like you would in a game, and you just have to participate and kind of have been using technology for the last 10 years. Pretty straightforward. So thank you for watching, and hope everyone